demons. I mean, you guys are serious about that demon stuff?
Hey, all right. Welcome to the Deadman Horror Show. I'm your host, Mr. Deadman, and with us here tonight is Bo Chappell. How's it going, man?
Pretty good. How you doing, man?
I'm doing
You're
fine.
looking good.
Thank you. It's
I feel like you've lost a little weight. But
well, I've been going for some treatment. Okay, it's working for me. It's I can't talk too much about it. It's a little embarrassing. I mean, there's no reason why I need to go like testosterone or whatever, you know. Shit.
Well, whatever it is, you'll look fantastic.
Thank you. Actually, the real reason why I lost this weight, guys, it's you probably heard it before. It's COVID. Had it, lost weight. Everyone, just about a lot of people who survive COVID, they same thing. They lose weight. My neighbor had COVID. You know what happened? Shit, he survived and he lost a shit ton of weight. Oh my God. So I was like, get me on that diet plan. He was like, all right, I'll hook you up. This little snot-nosed kid had the COVID. She coughed right in my face. Boom, got it. There you go. So, don't recommend for everybody, but it worked for me. How's it
It's
going,
impressive because you're dead, but you still got it. I'm more impressed than anything.
Yes, the fact that someone who's dead can still get it really puts things in interesting perspective. I don't know if Dr. Fauci is aware of that, though. So, that's going to be kind of weird. Anyway, how's it going, Bo? It's been a while since you've been on this show. In fact, the show's name has changed. Now it's the Deadman Horror Show. As screw the other guys. Right. It's all about me.
It's always about you.
That's what it is.
But yeah, man, it's good to be back. I always enjoy coming on the show.
Hey, it's good to have you. And what have you been doing? Because I've heard that you escaped from a basement in Texas.
I did. Funny story. I didn't completely get out with all my skin intact, but visible skin. I'm good. The arms, the face, neckline. I just can't go to public pools or anything anymore.
Well, I mean, why were you going to public schools anyway? What?
Public pools.
Oh, public pools. I thought he said public schools. Bo hanging around public schools. Are you trying to? I think maybe you're trying to scare the kids. You're trying to scare the kids.
Oh, it's not me. I know you've had a couple of fishy commenters and stuff that might fit that bill, but
you've been noticing. Yeah, they definitely would for sure. Okay, so yeah, it's been a while, man. I think it's been over a year since you've been on here. So,
yeah.
For those who don't know who Bo Chappell is. Who are you and what do you do?
Where's your daddy and what does he do?
Yes.
I am a writer and artist in South Carolina. I occasionally put out books that people read. A lot, but a few. And just do like side projects and stuff in the meantime. Done like all sorts of fun art projects for bands or podcasts, things like that.
Yeah. Okay. And putting out the books that people read, so it's like what you said, it's a few, like a handful, or you mean like quite a bit?
Well, I mean, just personally, just a few. I mean, I've written for, a lot of magazines, anthologies. I've written for, some of your publications too.
Yeah, you have.
Yeah, we did the Nazi Monster. That was a fun book.
Yes, the monsters versus monsters versus Nazis. That was fun.
Killing Nazis.
That's right, and that was a cover that. Well, I had some difficulty marketing that cover because it had a few Germany no symbols on there, which is weird because it's like, well, clearly the monsters are trying to kill them. It's not me like saying, hey, it's cool to be a Nazi, but whatever.
Everybody should read that book. That was fun. That was some good. There's some crazy. There's like werewolves.
Yeah, it was good stuff. Somebody had a story. His name is Andy Rausch. He had a good story about these skinheads buying a Hitler. Turned out to be a zombified Hitler, but it turned out that he was black. So they got chipped out of their deal and ended up killing him, I believe. So it was great. It was a lot of fun. Oh man, but yeah. So you write books. People read it, and what's the feedback like? I mean, you sounded humble and modest. That maybe not a whole lot of people read it, but a handful of people read it. And what's the feedback like? People getting back in touch with you about it.
Surprised with people, when they come back with comments, what they say. It's always, very positive, or it kind of tugged at the heartstrings, sort of thing. Like they felt very emotional about the story, and that's always a plus.
That's good. And see, and is that why you write? I mean, are you doing it for the money? Are you doing it for the chance for the money, the prospects of gold and dollars just coming raining down from the sky? Are you doing it because you like to do it? You want to do it?
No, I like doing it. Like I was recently said somebody not too long ago, if they like turning year 47, it's like Guillermo del Toro turned that into a movie. I'd be okay not getting paid, because I think him turning it into a movie that'd be payment enough. That would be crazy to see.
Oh, you're so nice.
And then entertaining. If it entertained people and the story got out there, it'd be great.
Now, if it's gonna be turned into a movie, I'd be like, well, I want who's turning into a movie?
Oh yeah, I guess it matters who's turning into a movie. I wouldn't let Michael Bay touch it or anything.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if someone in Hollywood were to touch it, I'd be like, hey, I want something. You could be smart. You could be like J.K. Rowling on that stuff. You got to be like, I want my name on it. I want it to work. Like, I'm going to make sure I get every dollar. If you're Stephen King about it and just like get the check, not even care, not even have any part to say so in the creative decision, next thing you know, it's going to be something that's like nothing even close to it. And what is a year 47? For those who don't know what that is, what is a year 47?
That was my first novel. Came out 5 years ago, coming up on 5 years. It's a survival horror western, post-apocalyptic western. I just threw in like every genre that, it's like my Matrix basically. Like there's so much fun things I just wanted to put into a story.
Survival horror western. Now that is something. Yeah. I mean, when it comes to horror, how many Western horrors are there, like that you could think of?
Yeah, it's a genre that needs to be more. There needs to be more. I noticed there is a resurgence in like splatter Western horror, recently, the last couple of years.
Oh yes.
But like horror Western, what's the cream of the crop in terms of horror Western movies? Like the top of my head's Tremors. I would say
Tremors are really good.
And horror.
Yeah, Tremors, Bone Shaw, or was it Bone Shaw Tomahawk? Wait, is that what it's called?
Oh man, I know what you're talking about. Man, that movie is brutal.
I think it was Bone Tomahawk. I think.
Yeah. Kurt Russell.
Yeah, Bone Tomahawk. Kurt Russell. That one was crazy. That one was like Tombstone, but at the end, it's like, nope. These cannibalistic Native Americans, they're just going to go savage, man. They're just going to rip you apart. Oh, I got to be careful what I just said there. See, that could be not PC. People were going to cancel me now. Look at that. I just used the word savage to describe what cannibalistic, Indians did in an unfictional movie. Bo, are you ready to get canceled? Because you came on a show to get canceled, right?
been on the show enough, I probably could have got canceled at some point.
Right?
People in your vicinity just get canceled.
Oh,
It's like in school. It's like if you were hanging around the bad kid and the bad kid did something, like you got in trouble.
yeah, right.
Like I was just sitting here watching this. I didn't know what was going to happen.
Right. I just thought it was funny, or I don't know. And I didn't agree with his actions and what he said, but Jesus. Anyway, but so yeah, there are some Western horror, I guess, movies. There's definitely a lot of books. I can think of a lot of splatter Western, so especially with Death's Head Press coming out with a bunch of them. Of course, we have Year 47, which we'll talk more detail about yours. But it definitely is a genre that people, could explore more. I mean, that the Western backdrop, I think, serves well for horror.
Because it takes a lot of the the elements that slow down our horror nowadays, like cell phones and just public cities and police and all that. Like you take all that out, and it's just off the table altogether. Everything becomes way scarier.
Yes. Just about every modern horror story, one way or the other, kind of has to explain why they weren't using cell phones.
Yeah. The same thing with sci-fi movies. Like it's usually people on a ship. They're isolated. They're alone. And it doesn't matter if they can get in contact with somebody. It's going to take a while for them to get out there.
Mm-hmm.
So it's isolation. That's a big thing. And with Western
isolation. See, and that's the thing. And there's a lot of horror movies about being isolated out in the woods, like a cabin out in the woods, in one way or the other. Now, a horror movie about being out in out on the plains, out in the open field, nowhere to go.
Yeah, everything's abandoned. You're self-reliant. You have to be, and that's that instantly makes anything scarier.
Mm-hmm. You said it's survival horror. Now, do you have experience surviving horror, Bo Chappell?
Just life in general. It's one long survival horror and no saves.
Right. More or less.
No, I can't say I've had anything. I've been fortunate enough to not have anything that would be considered,
Do you think you would be? Like, if you had the option to agree to a game where you can make a lot of money, $2 billion. You get $2 billion. You can play this game. Press a button, you're in it. They drop you off out in the woods. Actually, no, because of Year 47, they drop you off, and there's a barren wilderness in Texas. You have a gun. You have a revolver. How are you surviving? What are you doing?
Ooh, me personally.
Yeah.
Like even with the knowledge that I have, I still think I would eat it pretty quick.
You'd eat it?
Yeah. I think I would.
Man.
To be honest. I know some people that would probably be fantastic at it, but personally, yeah, I would. Yeah.
Okay.
Wouldn't be that great at it.
And then let's explore this a little bit more, especially with using Year 47 as context here. Now, what's happening in Year 47? Like, so I understand a survival Western horror, but what's going on? Like in these stories, when they're out there, I guess in the West or whatever, like what are they encountering? Are they are there monsters, something spiritual, like other humans? Like what's going on? Like, give me some stuff.
Imagine, if you will, something's happened.
Yeah.
And that has triggered the apocalypse before it's supposed to start.
Okay.
And essentially, that this whatever this action is has killed God.
God is dead.
So God is dead. And then
wait, hold on, wait. God is dead. Is this like an anime?
Yes.
That's like
I don't know. It might not be a bad anime. But yeah, it's, imagine, if you will, like the repercussions of something happening, and heaven, hell, and earth just become one thing over the course of 46 years. So each stage of, each year is different from the last. And by the time you get to 46 years out, everything's, it's the Wild West essentially. No electronics, no telecommunications.
Sounds like the end of Escape from New York when you press that button and everything would address.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that concept. So the end of the world happened abruptly, and then heaven, hell, and earth merged together. God is dead. What? Wait, do we know what killed God? Was it TikTok?
It should have been TikTok.
It was K-pop, wasn't it? K-pop killed God.
It makes God cry every day, TikTok.
So BTS Army. So God is not part of BTS Army. Take that. Take that, K-pop stands.
But yeah, imagine, because of this, things get unleashed. So all these biblical events become real. You've got, a form of zombies. You got a form of demons. Ghost. The Four Horsemen. All these people are just running around.
No, wait. Time out. The Four Horsemen in year 47. In these stories, are they all written by you, or are there also different authors?
This was really great because the first one was it was pretty successful in terms of being in anything. I was really popular with the community, and I told myself I wasn't going to write a sequel.
Yeah,
but I thought it'd be fun. I didn't explore any of those 46 years beforehand. And so I had a bunch of people, that came out and wrote stories that took place over the course of all these years. My buddy Liam, he wrote a story that takes place on day one. And he essentially wrote a movie it's like Predator, but with an angel.
Predator, but with an angel. Hold on. Oh, we're getting into some good stuff. Predator, but with an angel. What?
And that story is sick. It's so fun. And you got people that write just these elements, like A.A. Medina. He wrote this
recognize him, yeah.
This really touching story about a father and a daughter on the road, and the worst thing that happens to them is it's human people.
Yeah. Imagine so. Okay. The reason why I asked that is, so it's not just you. You have other stories written by other people. With that said, do we know how God died? Okay, I think I already asked that. K-pop stands.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Even though it's been 5 years out, I'll still say you need to read it.
I'm still fixated on that. I'm like, man, how did he? We need an investigation. I need to read that book. Because I'm so curious. I want to know. Jesus Christ.
Well, see, here's the thing. Since then, the second book with the anthology of stories, that was by Year's End.
Yeah.
And then there was a special edition book that was available only online called Missing Days. That had a lot of records and stuff from the first 7 years. And then I had more people come in, and they wrote these microfictions, 1,000 words or less. They wrote
microfictions. Okay. Cool.
And I figured since it's coming up, it's coming up on the 5th year anniversary, and I want to do something special. So I am working on putting out an omnibus of all the books, putting in all the stories and everything in chronological order.
Oh, really?
Then, and then I'm adding some. It's essentially like the second editions of most of the books. They'll be updated. Year 47 will have additional scenes I put back in. There was one I took out, and I was I was really bummed. I should have left it.
Okay. So yeah.
So it's back, and then we got more people coming in and writing stories. Leo H. Robertson, he's written a story, and Steve Strad, he's working on one.
That's cool.
And Alessandro Martinez, he just had a hit book.
Oh yes, he did. Helmuth,
I believe it's called.
Helmuth.
It's so just really excited to kind of come back and kind of like make a treat for people that are fans of it. But even if you're not a fan, then you don't have to necessarily go out and buy all the books separately. You can have like this special edition book. They'll just have everything in it.
Right. Okay, that's pretty cool. You're putting out that collection,
Yeah.
and you have people looking forward to it. Have people already kind of pre-ordered or requested an early copy?
I've got a couple of people that I'm going to send copies to for for reviews, and
That's pretty cool.
I know there's already some people, but yeah, I mean, and on top of that, I'll throw in. There's going to be a bunch. You get like a digital download goodie bag of all sorts of stuff. You get
Okay, now let's start off light. In your 47, what is probably the easiest survival horror situation that's presented in that book? It could just be like one moment in the book or whatever, one moment of it. What is the easiest?
The easiest thing, man. See, like it's all kind of rough for everything. I'm always that mentality of I like seeing a hero struggle.
Yeah. Same here.
Like Die Hard and Indiana Jones. Like by the end of those things, they are just had the shit kicked out of them.
Well, what's one of the earliest things that happens?
The earliest thing is probably the hero has to take on like 3 of these. I call them forlorn. They're demons. They're like
Demons.
personified demons. Imagine like.
Okay. All right. So what's going to happen is you all of a sudden you wake up tomorrow. You're thrown into fighting 3 of these forlorns. Forlorns? 3 lorns?
Yeah.
What are they called? All right. You're fighting these guys with whatever's next to you. What's next to you right now?
Like PlayStation 4 controller. Oh, I got like a Salt Rock lamp. I guess that might do something.
Well, there you go. You got a Soul Rock lamp and a PlayStation 4 controller.
Maybe I could crush in the skull of one of the little ones.
Ah.
But one of them is like one of them's like a supersized like a gorilla type.
Okay.
Yeah, that thing would fuck me up.
Yeah, I think it might stomp you.
Yeah.
So you couldn't survive in the beginning level of your 47. That's what you tell me.
No, like even in the early days, like it's rough because you're dealing with the undead, but not like it's not like an infection.
Well, you got to prepare for this. You know, you're writing this book. What if it just so happens that your book foretells what's going to happen?
Oh
right?
man!
So I'm looking out for
a great
you.
Jack Kirby had a quote about this. Like he was scared about writing something because he was scared he was going to put it out into the universe and it would become real. I would not wish my book upon reality.
Well, sometimes it happens though. What if somebody kills God, Bo, and it happens? Hell, heaven, and earth just merge together. It could happen.
And I'm sorry. Use my book for rules, I guess, but then I guess I've done my part. But
no, but what about
from
all the survival horror movies you've seen and books you've read and games you've played? There has to be something you could do. Maybe stay armed, carry a side piece. I don't know.
I think the most important thing would be to you get a good group of people together and try to lead.
Who'd be in your group?
Lead with information and stuff. But again, this day and age, it's kind of scary because people are divided on everything.
Yeah. You definitely don't want to crack any jokes, share any memes.
Like, do you wonder, like, in this day and age, like, people say, like, oh, we need, like, another unified enemy. You know, if we had that, then, because 9/11, that brought us, like, all together.
Well,
even though it divided us against
Muslims, I will say,
unfairly.
What you're presenting is a very interesting question, and it's something I thought about, too. I think, was it last week, where there was actually a real world situation example where, I believe, what was it, in New York, Black Lives Matter protesters and Trump supporters were rioting or protesting, I guess, over COVID and destroying a COVID testing site. So maybe if they can unify together over a common cause of vaccine passports, whatever, I don't know how to get into the whole thing about that, but I'm just saying they united over a cause. It was so baffling to me. I was like, what? Wow.
Hey,
Well,
it just worries me. It's like we wouldn't. You want to unite for the right reasons. It's not like I wonder, like an Independence Day situation. Aliens come to Earth. They've strategically placed themselves over all major cities and blown up all the ports and stuff. Would we actually try and fight together as well?
Well, yeah. What would happen? I'm sure what would happen is you put together a team to take out the aliens or whatever. But then, or Jeff Goldblum has a plan, right? And someone finds out. Wait a second. Jeff Goldblum said a racial slur a long time ago. Yeah, he's going to be canceled. He's not going to be on that mission. But
they bring out the whole, you know what, aliens and humans, there's good people on both sides.
yes, it'd be like wait, because there'll be people who love the aliens who'll be on their side.
Yeah, it'd be like, yeah.
Aliens are people too.
I do wonder what the situation would be like.
Mm-hmm.
Especially with social media involved.
Yeah, I can see it. So it would be like hashtag aliens are people too. Don't nuke aliens, nuke humanity. We deserve to be food. There'll be vegans that will be like, actually we deserve to be eaten. There'll be like self-hating vegans. People that just hate humanity because of all the, I guess, the sins of the past or whatever. And be like, well, we should be eaten. They just give themselves up. I mean,
look. Aliens came. They blew up all of our major cities. I think we have a common enemy.
Yep.
Let's just put all that stuff aside for right now.
Yep. So I think what you bring up is interesting because there will be people that unite. Obviously, I have to say those are preppers will probably be one of them. they will unite. Those that are like self-defeating and are divided based on any sort of thing. Yeah, whatever. Be crazy. I'd like to see. I'm curious. Does Year 47 cover any of that? Like when the demons and stuff come out, do they get hung up on? Oh no, little things.
Right. Like the Writer's Bible, I offered that because there was some stuff I didn't get to tackle. Like there was one story. There's a funny story you can get. Brian Black, you've had him on here.
Mm-hmm.
He submitted a story, but he basically submitted a book. I was amazed that he wrote what he wrote. I'm not like, it's not hyperbole. He wrote basically a book. And it detailed things about like, racist groups and, people holding like sex camps and things like that.
Okay.
Because, that's the reality. Like you got people that they're unhindered. Nobody's sitting there telling them what to do anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So of course you got and there's stuff that's tackled in Year 47 about like people underage children.
Oh yeah, definitely. Because
it's just this dark thought of human nature.
Yeah, I mean, you ever think like a society crumbles? The people that are supposed to enforce the laws, like police or whatever, just not around. And what's the point of a law? Who's going to force the rules? You might get some vigilante justice. You might get some communities to actually try to uphold some sort of standards, because that's going to happen. I mean, there's going to be some groups that are like, okay, we're not going to murder each other in our group. We can murder those that are outside the group and take their stuff. But then there's going to be groups that are like little groups that don't have those issues. They want to rape kids or whatever, because who's going to stop them? I'm curious about that.
It becomes self-governing in that point. That's why I wanted to write something like that, because it really does, like, what would happen if the ultimate authority is not there anymore.
Yeah.
There's nothing that governs anybody anymore. Like, everybody knows 100% sure they're not going to heaven or hell anymore.
Yeah, and that's a factor too. Some people kind of scoff at that, and for some people, the concept of heaven and hell, it helps them a little bit on making certain decisions. Not for all.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's some people who claim to be religious, and obviously it doesn't stop them from having affairs or murdering somebody.
I mean, that's why I wrote it. I was dealing with a lot of stuff, but just my personal issues with God and religion and my own relationship with God and how I felt, because I was angry a lot of the time.
Yeah, I totally understand that. I mean, I don't know about you, but my relationship with God is like I call him up, but he don't ever call me up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So I wanted to like put that on the table and kind of discuss that, but in a fun, mix in westerns and horror movies and the apocalypse and just all these cool fun things that I loved growing up. I bet about the only thing that isn't in there is like superheroes. Yeah.
Well, thank God for that. I mean, Year 47 doesn't have a single superhero?
No. One of the characters has a superhero backpack, but that's as far as it goes.
Oh, so close. Oh,
I'm sure somewhere out there's some sort of Lone Ranger vigilante that's masked and running around and just spits injustice, Punisher style.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm going to leave because
that story hasn't been written.
If what it takes to get rid of this fixation on superhero movies and shows is an end of the world situation, I'm kind of leaning towards it. I like Batman and I liked the X-Men movies, in the 90s, but like I'm kind of burned out on superhero movies, and but I might just be an outlier there.
It's a weird thing because Marvel's been so successful that they're turning it out, and even I find myself jaded a little bit, and I love this stuff.
Yeah,
that's why I think it's why Shang-Chi was so successful, and it's a really good movie, by the way. Like because it's probably the least Marvel movie they've made in a long time.
Mm.
I mean, it feels like Marvel barely touched that with all of its its little rules and its jokes and things like that.
Well, I would go see it, but I'm not allowed to go out. Wait, it's streaming, right? Yeah, so I don't really have an excuse.
I believe it's going to be streaming next month.
Okay, good.
I don't get any money for it.
I can't get out like this. When I walk around town like this, people give me looks. They give me stares, which is totally unfair. I mean, they're staring at me. They're looking at me. They're judging me based on how I look.
Well, this is the 1 month you can go out and be okay with that. Unfortunately, you have COVID.
Well, I would say
you can wear a double mask, I guess.
Wait, I wouldn't be worried about COVID or get spread around. I mean, what do I care? I already died and came back somehow. So what happens. But what I'm worried about is apparently in Galveston, Texas, there was some guy walking around with a Michael Myers mask, and he got arrested by the police. So this means I'm going to get tackled by the police. If I go walk around my mask like this, they're going to just tackle me and try to arrest me.
You just have to scream, "This is my face," like Rorschach. When they start taking off, you're like, "My face!"
Yes. This I should say. But, okay.
Get back my face.
All right, so, but survival horror. Get back on track. Survival horror. Okay. What is your favorite survival horror movie?
Oh man, it's probably my favorite horror movie.
What's that?
I adore 28 Days Later. I really enjoy that story. It's very. I love stories like you're given a. To me, survival horror in general, games, movies, it's always here's point A. Point B is safety. All you gotta do is get from here to here.
Yeah.
In some form or fashion.
Yeah.
That's what I did with my book, and I love stories like that. It can be you just gotta survive a day, or we've got to get to this location, or we're stuck here, but we got to get to here.
Yeah.
I love stories like that. It's just if you can survive this, you'll be okay. Which is not always true, but that's what's presented.
Yeah, Man, that movie there is
The 20
that is a good movie right there. That's the one with the rabid zombies, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
where they changed it to where they were actually. It's like it's implied they were trying to cure hostility in people,
Mm.
and they actually created it, and it became a viral form of it, and people would just become hostile.
Yeah. And that's
And
I think the sequel has an ending where he's running across the field and all these freaking zombies are chasing him, right? Open field.
the opening that did Danny Boyle did the opening of that second one.
Yeah. Oh, that was the opening.
that-
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that's such a good opening too.
That's good.
That's how you open a movie.
Yeah, yeah. When it comes to zombie movies, there's definitely a handful that definitely had it down as far as opening goes. One of which I still say is the Dawn of the Dead remake. I mean, that opening was, that grabbed my attention immediately. You know?
Yeah. I'll give it Snyder on that one. I'm not like the biggest Snyder fan, but
Neither am I.
the Dawn of the Dead remake was fun.
Yeah. Yeah, Zack Snyder. I'm not a huge fan. Not a huge fan.
He's not the greatest.
No.
He's great visually. I'll say he's a visual guy. He's got his visuals down.
Definitely. That's what he nails. He could. I mean, that's why I think 300 was well received at the time, was because he nailed down the visuals of that graphic novel. He just pretty much, it almost seemed like
He just
scene from scene.
replicated it. Yeah. And he just like shot for shot. Here it is in the book.
Yeah.
He like, was able to replicate it. And it's like, it was great.
So he shouldn't be in charge. Zack Snyder should not be in charge of writing his own story. He should be. Can you take this and put it on screen, but the way it's written, and just do that? Because I don't know. Have you seen, what was the latest thing? Army of the Dead.
No, I haven't seen that. Like,
Man.
I was excited, but like, is it good? What's your opinion on it?
My opinion is that it's a sloppy mess. Is it good? It wants to be a heist movie, but it's also a zombie movie. But the zombies are not even really zombies. They might actually be aliens. And I don't really mind the liberties that he took with zombies. Like I'm going to end up spoiling it if I keep on talking about it. Is it good? I didn't like it. I did not like it. You'll see, just the opening sequence is so freaking dumb. You have this Las Vegas, and I'm not spoiling anything because this is in the opening sequence. Las Vegas is quarantined, and there's all these zombies in it. The government knows that there's zombies there because they're part of the reason why there's zombies there. Yet what does the government do? What does the military do? They paratroop soldiers into the zombies to be eaten alive.
Because it looks cool.
Right? It isn't until the end of the movie where or I guess the beginning and towards the middle part where they talk about nuking it, bomb it. What I'm saying is, if Las Vegas turned into some sort of zombie hellhole because something leaked from the military, I'm pretty sure they're going to quarantine that real fast, and I'm also pretty sure they're going to go in and carpet bomb that place of all sorts of. If they can't hit it with precision, they're going to hit it with just explosives.
What's Vegas? It's out in the middle of nowhere. It would be like the easiest thing to A, quarantine, and B, just completely devastate.
Yeah, that's a good point. Las Vegas is out in the middle of nowhere, and we've tested nukes before on American soil. I guess so.
I think we miss Vegas. They rebuild it anyway.
We just blow it up. We can build another Vegas.
New Vegas.
Yeah. So it'd be fun.
Yeah, even Fallout rebuilt Vegas.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like,
You can turn it into an amusement park.
A nuclear holocaust, but man, we're going to rebuild Vegas.
Oh, Bethesda could buy the property and turn it into some sort of like amusement park on Fallout, and you go in there and you get to live the real life Fallout experience. It'd be great.
If anything doesn't work, they just let all the customers fix it themselves. Bazinga!
Like Fallout 76, right? I'm just joking.
Yeah, every game they release, every game they release is a dev kit, and then they let the people.
The only thing that they can release successfully are the games that have already been made, like the old school Doom games, that they just regurgitate that. Oh, you know?
Yeah, like Doom's on everything. I got Doom on my toaster.
yeah, right? Oh,
yeah,
man.
Doom's not going anywhere. It's Skyrim either. Like
no, man, they need to
really
stop porting Skyrim. Jesus Christ. Like, they can come up with another Elder Scrolls. Come on. Skyrim's been milked to death. I feel so bad for it. It's like, I look at it, I'm like, why? Morrowind was a great game. Oblivion was okay. I like Morrowind a little bit better. Except, Oblivion had better, like, modern stuff or whatever. I was going to say, oh, speaking of video games, what about survival horror video games? Like, what comes to mind when you think survival horror video games?
Oh, I like, all the classics. You got Resident Evil, you got Silent Hill. You consider, like, Fatal Frame. I feel like that's in that family.
Fatal Frame, that's really good. I like that.
But any of those games where, the tank controls and the fixed camera positions and stuff, that was very inspirational to me too. Like, I have one scene in the book that is very specifically, I was thinking of it as a scene from one of those games where a top-down perspective, the camera wouldn't change, like just the way I was thinking about the room. I love those. I can't play those games, but I love them.
Yeah. Yeah, and when I think survival horror, and the reason I bring up the games is because when it comes to like survival horror, I think it works better in a video game than. And maybe I'm wrong on this. Some people say no, it works okay in movies too, because obviously a lot of movies are survival horror. I mean, you have characters that are trying to survive a situation, try to get from, like you said, point A to point B, or survive a night or whatever. In that case, then even Night of the Living Dead would be survival horror, I feel like video games, because you are playing the character, has much more immersion. It feels more. You really feel it. Like I could watch any horror movie, but playing some of these survival horror games, Jesus, I cannot.
It comes from a place where our generation, we've grown up with like the cream of the crop of horror movies, but we've also learned the rhythm of it.
Yeah.
And now it's really hard to get us scared again. I think that's why why A24 is so popular, just because they're doing like eerie, unsettling things that aren't necessarily, they're skipping away from the blood and the gore, and they're just presenting these like, these kind of mindfuck stories.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're just so used to the rhythm of it. But if you put that urgency and you give that to a person and they're having to play through it themselves, everything becomes scary again.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is your responsibility to survive these nights with the zombies.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're locked in a mansion. You gotta get to a helicopter. Good luck.
Mm-hmm. You have to get to a helicopter, and you have limited ammo.
We'll give you 17 bullets the whole game.
You have 17 bullets,
15 of them in the first act.
Yes, and if you run out of ammo, don't worry. You have a knife, which is you're just gonna die.
Yeah, everybody puts that knife in the trunk first thing.
Yes.
You're just taking up space.
Mm.
Because let's face it, if you have to resort to the knife, especially like within the first act, but if you have to resort to that knife in the last act, you're double fucked.
Yeah, there's no way of getting out of that.
Yeah.
I don't think so, anyway. I mean, I think I've seen some Resident Evil knife challenges.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
That thing's for speedrunners.
Yeah.
That's for challenges. Like, I could beat this whole game with this knife.
Yeah, they're not even... They're playing on a whole other level. They're not even really playing the game. They're not even really experiencing it. They're exploiting the game.
It's just crazy. Yeah, just let me phase through this wall by jumping at it like 17 times at an angle, and dude.
I played this game called Murder House. Have you ever heard of it?
I've heard the name. What's the plot of it?
Very simple. You're in this house, and this guy's gonna murder you.
Oh, I guess
it's a guy wearing a bunny costume, an Easter bunny. You go around and you try to look for like eggs, Easter eggs, and stuff. And this bunny will come in the room and kill you. He'll fight you. It's really not that hard of a game. You can really beat it in like, I think, an hour and 30 minutes. I think I've seen some speedrunners do it. But I like that's one of those games where it's like it pisses me off. Like very much like Resident Evil. It has like old school Resident Evil has tank controls. Like you move around very stiff, and it's oh god, I hate those games because I feel like I'm so limited. I have to work within the framework of these limitations, and it just gets me mad.
Play through the Evil Within.
No.
There's a part in the game where you're fighting something, and it's a super hard boss. And you actually managed to survive it, but during the cutscene while you're escaping, one of the characters that you're protecting has dropped their glasses. And the fucking game makes you go back out and get their glasses.
What?
While fighting this boss. And I'm like, you're shitting me right now, right? And I'm like, it's like, nope, here's the controls. And I'm like, you asshole game.
Over glasses? Oh.
Yeah. And so, of course, it just wrecks your nerves. That game, I don't think I could ever play through it again, but I loved it. But man, it does it just rip your nerves.
Oh, that's bullshit too.
Here's the second one's amazing.
Yeah, and that's a whole other thing. So, what you brought up, so you're towards the end of the game, you fought this boss, and a character drops eyeglasses, right? Like just eyeglasses.
And there's a thing, and you figure like, oh, they're going to take care of this in the cutscene. This is just a cutscene.
Yeah.
No, they make you do it.
Take care of a cutscene, or I tell you what, you tell that character, we can just go to a store and get those glasses, or you can just go see your eye doctor again and get those glasses, or just wear some contacts, or you know what? Don't even worry about it. We almost got killed. Let's not worry about your glasses. I mean, we're talking about the end of the game, right? I mean, do you need those glasses later on or something?
The middle of the game, and you're looking at the thing that you fought. You just end up surviving.
Oh.
You don't beat it. And the thing is the size of a small bus, if I recall. And it's just like, you want me to go back out there and get your glasses because you need them.
Yeah. See,
like, dude,
that's annoying too.
But the game does it, man. I believe it was one of the guys who did Resident Evil.
Let me ask you this. So you go get those glasses, and does the character ever use those glasses in any significant way for the rest of the game?
He puts them on. I think he has like really poor eyesight. It's one of those. He's like a Velma.
Well, is he?
Well,
Velma's hot, so I would go get the glasses for Velma. That's fine.
Well, to argue, this dude is pretty handsome.
I'm sorry?
I said to argue that point, the dude is pretty handsome. He'd be eye candy for a lot of people. So.
Oh, well, I mean, is the dude useful?
Yeah, he's like your partner in the game and stuff. But you know how games are.
Yeah, I'm just saying. In real life, Bo, if you dropped your eyeglasses, I'd be like, yeah, you're going to be blind for a little bit. I'm not going back I'm not going back.
The best part is they had this discussion in front of this thing that's behind this gate. Like they just got through the gate, and like you can see it from here.
Yeah.
You can smell this thing. I'm not going back out there to get your glasses. Oh, the game's making me go. I gotta go get your glasses.
Oh man, I hate it. I hate it when that happens. And the game makes you want to do something that you just hate. God damn.
Yeah, I'm sure it's on YouTube. Look it up, Evil Within. I'm sure there's.
Yeah.
I'm sure that boss fight is there. Yeah. It's a great game. It really is a great game.
That reminds me of what is it? Outlast. I think that's the game's called. Where you have to hide in lockers and hide under the bed because you don't have a weapon or anything. You just have a video camera or a recorder, video recorder.
Devious. Yeah, I think we talked about that on one. Dustin, when we were on here talking about.
Yeah. We talked about it before.
I remember he was joking about like that. There's a story here. I got to keep going.
Yeah.
You worry about that police or later, man.
Mm-hmm.
Police in there.
Yeah, it's a dumb reason to be in there. I feel it's like so. I understand when you capture the story, you want to capture all this stuff. Like, can you go in there with a weapon? Like, can you carry a gun with you? I mean, come on. Where are you just?
I know there was scaffolding outside. I know you're in a building, but there's got to be a wrench.
Yeah.
I believe there's a dude that gets impaled on something early in the game. I'm like, just rip that thing down.
Rip it down. Make it into a weapon. I mean, What else? The one game called Condemned, Criminal Origins or whatever. You could take lead pipes off the wall and use that as weapons. That was a cool concept. That's survival horror in a way. I mean, I think they give you more stuff than other horror games do because you can just take things off walls. But at least there's that facade that you can fight. I mean,
Do you think those rumors about Konami are true about how they're actually putting games back into production again?
oh, I wonder what that means.
Like another Silent Hill and another Castlevania, like they say they're making.
I wonder what that means for their. I mean, I guess they have enough gambling machines. Huh.
Yeah, it makes me wonder if they were kind of like, oh, maybe we messed up. Maybe people do want games and we're just sitting on these licenses.
Well, I heard that they were pretty much taken over by what's the Japanese mafia, the Yakuza or whatever, and now they're just making gambling machines. I don't know anything about that. I'm like,
you make a Silent Hill Castlevania. Do it.
I mean, they kind of dropped the ball in Castlevania, and was it one of the Castlevania guys, the creators? He's doing Bloodstain now, and Bloodstain is kind of like spiritually Castlevania, but there's a different coat of paint.
It makes me wonder if like Sony did try to buy the rights from them, and then they realized like, oh, we could be making a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just go ahead and make another Silent Hill.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and get that Silent Hill. Let's give Kojima like a shit ton of money, and just hopefully that'll patch things up.
Yeah, I mean, they might as well. Silent Hill is a good franchise, man. That's Silent Hill 2.
I know a lot of people are heartbroken about it because what was the last game? It was like on the Vita.
Yeah,
it was like some dungeon crawler thing. It wasn't even like a real Silent Hills game.
Like if they refuse to make another Silent Hill game, they are walking away from money. Because even if it was horrible, what was it? Silent Hill 4, the one where you have to fight wheelchairs.
Yeah, I believe that was the room. Yeah.
Yeah, that was not so cool. Fighting wheelchairs, it makes no sense.
Wheelchairs are scary.
I mean, that's kind of messed up. The wheelchair's haunted. You have to fight it. I mean, you go from fighting zombies or whatever to fighting wheelchairs. Okay, but yeah, they need to come out with another Silent Hill. That's easy money for them. There's an audience that's hungry for it. It's just like,
I mean, look at what Resident Evil did with PT. Like that, that Silent Hills game never came out, and they're like, "Oh, we could do a game like that."
Mm-hmm. And
now they have like 2 blockbuster.
Yeah. Resident Evil's been like they've been knocking it out of the park. What was it Resident Evil: The Village? Which I still have not played that game, but I've seen all the memes of Lady D. Trust me, I've watched many videos of Lady D in various modded dresses, modded skins. So I'm well versed about certain aspects of the game.
Very thirsty fans. The funny thing is, I don't think I'm spoiling it. Like, she's like the first boss in the game. She's not like the big boss in the game. No. She's probably only in it like 25-30% of it. But yeah, she became like the star of it.
Yeah, she did. Well, like, I mean, you can't.
Thirsty boys.
She's just so thick, you can't hold her back. And now she's busting out of that dress.
Yeah, those mods for that though are hilarious. I love the ones where they're like they made her normal size, but every time you see her, like her hat gets bigger.
That's funny.
That's a great one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, and they're doing great. Like the Resident Evil remakes, they're doing well. So
Konami's like looking at this and like we need to be making survival horror games, man.
Yeah. And we're talking about a franchise, Resident Evil, that it started off as like the first Resident Evil. That was kind of like what? It was alright. People liked it. I kind of figured it was like it was new. It was different. It was like you never really played a game like that before.
That remaster version, I love the remaster.
Yeah, that was really good.
That was beautiful looking.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah, they need to get back in the market. There's a really cool market for survival horror, but even as with all the successes it has, I feel like people aren't tapping into it.
And you think people would, um, like there's a market for it. People want it. I think even with VR, it'd be great. Oh man, with VR, it'd be fantastic. A Silent Hill using VR. Oh, you piss your
Nope.
pants.
I'll enjoy watching other people play it.
It's like the piss pants, brown pants challenge. Can you get through Silent Hill VR without crapping your pants?
Dad, I'd get through the menu, man.
That'd be good. No, but speaking of these though, like, do you remember your first reaction to playing Resident Evil?
Oh yeah, that was like early high school. I think if I'm dating myself, uh, original PlayStation. I remember, I think my buddy had it, and he came over and we were playing it, and it just scared. It was just super fucking scary. I had like really great jump scares in it,
Mm-hmm.
like strategically planned. They were very smart about how they would get you used to going through an area to where it becomes like so mundane.
Yeah.
And then you'd be like, God, I gotta go from here to here. It's gonna take me 3 minutes to run, and blah. And then all of a sudden, like, oh, here comes something smashing through a window. Here comes like four of those, those mutated dogs.
Yeah, those dogs.
And you're just like, yeah.
And they would throw things in there. Oh man, just about everything in that game was like designed to build suspense
Yeah.
from the
There's camera
controls.
angles too.
Yeah, the camera angles, the controls. It felt kind of limited. Like, I don't know about you, but I was scared to play the game because I felt like I couldn't really control my character right, and I felt like I was like, am I going to even be able to respond to the slow-moving zombie in time to actually hit him in the head, because he moves slow, but I move slow, and every shot
Played
counts.
off that. They replicated that in Silent Hill. They didn't even want to fix it because they knew
Hmm.
those limitations made the game scary.
Yeah, yeah, and as much as I also hate that, because it's like, why is my character so limited? It does it kind of replicates I guess the limitations in real life. Yeah, you might be this trained cop and you might know how to use a gun, but let's just say you're that cop. How would you handle this?
Face it. How in shape is everybody?
Right. Oh,
You
man.
don't realize how out of shape you are until you have to do something.
You're right.
So yeah, you got to run 15 blocks, and you got to climb up a fire escape, and all you got to pipe to fight. These things that are coming at you that just seem to just take hit after hit.
Hmm.
You're gonna get winded. You're gonna get tired. I can't see shit.
Right. Oh, and even the doors, when the doors open. I remember the first time seeing that, I was like, oh man, that is kind of scary.
Yeah,
What's behind that door?
it builds suspense, but it's just in reality, it's just a loading screen.
That's all it is.
They were really smart about it's the way Spielberg, like, oh, that shark didn't work. We're gonna have to shoot around it, and that became scary. They were using the limitations of what they could do with those games,
Mm.
and they implemented them, and they made them things that made the game scary.
Yeah.
That's why things like if they had a bigger budget, if they had like today's technology, and they made those games today for the first time, they wouldn't be as scary. There's
No,
just no way.
they definitely wouldn't. They definitely would not. Okay. Now, just to make sure, I want to make sure we remind people about year 47. Bo Chappell, tell us a little bit more about year 47. Anything you want to plug real fast?
I'm really shooting for next month, but I'll have things ready by the end of this month to show.
Okay.
It'll be an omnibus. It'll be a collection of Year 47, 5 Years In, and Missing Days, all together in one thing. And on top of that, you'll get a digital download of like videos and artwork and ebook versions. And there's even going to be a soundtrack to the book done by the band Ghost of Shadow Moses.
Oh, really? That's cool.
They're doing a dark metal soundtrack,
Pretty neat.
and
Yeah.
it's fantastic. I mean, you can look them up now. I mean, they're on all streaming services, YouTube, everything, Spotify. Ghost of Shadow Moses.
Ghost of Shadow what?
Moses.
Moses. Ghost of Shadow
I
Moses.
believe they took their name from the Metal Gear Solid.
Ah,
The
okay.
boss, Shadow Moses, for any Metal Gear Solid fans.
Okay.
But yeah, and yeah, there'll be some videos and stuff. And like I said, it's the best versions of all those books put together that you can buy now. And I'm gonna call the thing From Day One.
From day one. That's what you're going to call the collection, From Day One?
From Day One, and it'll be coming out soon. I mean, of course, feel free to buy everything now.
Yeah.
But if it's like an experience, you want to experience it from the chronological order, and you want new stories and everything. Just hold out a little bit, and you can pick this one up.
That's pretty cool. And just to rhyme, so, and you are an indie writer. Is this work as it self-published, or are you going through a publisher?
Yeah, self-published.
Okay.
I just like keeping it that way for now.
Okay, and no problem with that. Some people say there's a stigma with that, but you are an indie writer, it's self-published, and you are reaching an audience. You do have people that...
Yeah, I mean, I've been fortunate enough to where I didn't think anybody would read these books. I mean, like I'll even go so far as to say, like, the first review I got from the novel back then, it was like a bad review. And I was like, oh, I guess this is it, it's over.
Mm.
Yeah, I tried, did my best.
Hey, one man's bad review is another man's great review. I mean...
Yeah, it turned out it was just one of those things. Like, I've gotten really good reviews off the books. And, I'm very happy. And then getting to work with all these other writers in the community. I mean, just work with some fantastic people.
All right. Well, that's good.
And then, of course, I got like a children's book. There's a little hard children's book I wrote about monsters and Once You Get to Know Me. And last year I put out that slasher home invasion movie with Tiny Holmes, Our Biggest Fears. That's out there. That's available.
Oh, cool.
Quick read.
Gotta check that out. And they'll be able to catch this, I guess, on Amazon, I suppose.
Yep.
Okay.
Cool. Yeah, I'm available on Amazon. Of course, you can hit me up on Twitter, Instagram, at Infrafan, INFRAFAN.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show and talk about Survival Hard Year 47. For those that made it this far, make sure you press the like button, share it, and subscribe. That support does help. Yeah, with that said, you guys take it easy.
Have a good night, everybody.
Okay.